What's going on, guys? Rymami Teacher in the house, and I'm here with the GPL Week 6 Power Rankings. I'm going to be doing this alone this week because we had an extension for the week for a couple of matches that ended up not going ahead. I'll talk more about why they didn't go ahead in the video. I normally do this, of course, with Denisio, but Denisio and I had a bit of a hard time scheduling things because of my work and his family stuff. So I'm going to be doing it solo this week, so it is going to be my opinion only. I know some people like the fact that we do bounce ideas between each other. We are going to be doing it solo this week, so sorry about that, guys. We will try and get this fixed to do it back with Denisha, of course, in the following weeks. Of course, as always, these power rankings are done with win-loss and differential being the tiebreakers. And, of course, I am throwing my opinions in. Please bear in mind, they are my opinions. Right, so coming in at number 16 this week is going to, of course, be Crimpix. Crimpix still winless this week. Unfortunately, he was unable to play his match. He was ill. Happens to the best of us, unfortunately. Bit of a shame because this was a great opportunity for him to pick up his first win of the season. Sadly, it didn't quite happen. Now, we have to, unfortunately, give him a 3-0 loss because he didn't play his game. Does suck. Hopefully, Crimpix, you're getting better soon, my friend. I think I saw in the Discord server you were feeling a little better, so hopefully we'll see you play a Week 7 game. Looking forward to seeing it. Right, coming in at number 15, Big Nab. Again, really poor attitude this week, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry to say it, Big Nab. I know you're a nice guy. I've seen you in the Mr. Void Guild, of course. But ultimately, like, mental booming because you picked the wrong team or whatever. You played a few turns out, lost 2 mons, and then just forfeited the game. We don't like to see that. Alright, we don't see that in this draft league, I'm afraid. It's happened. The easier way to have handled that was just being like, oh, whoops, bought the wrong team, just restarted the game before turn 1, right? And I'm pretty sure, given the fact who you were playing against, that would have been fine. I wouldn't have seen a reason for there to be a problem there. But unfortunately, as it is, he basically takes a 6-0 loss. Not great. Hopefully we see a bit better from him in the coming weeks. I think Big Nab does have some okay features in his team, so I'm hoping that he doesn't mental boom again. I'm also hoping that my phone doesn't keep going off. Alright, coming in at number 14 is Huddled, who actually is going to be dropping from the league, unfortunately, and being replaced by Gecko Kami. Huddled has unfortunately been extremely busy and has been unable to play his matches. I did reach out to him and say, you know, how's things going, anything like that. And he said, yeah, I just don't feel like I can play anymore. So he's dropped out. He's being replaced by Gakukami, who is currently playing his first few matches in Draft League. He is in another league. He's currently unbeaten in the league that he's playing. So he's coming to join an already very stacked league. He is quite a long way behind, though, of course, being 1-5 and negative 15 differential. But with how stacked the Shield division is, I wouldn't be too surprised if he gives everyone a run for their money. I play him in week 11, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to offer us. But yeah, of course, I do wish my good friend Huddled well. I hope to see him in another draft league in the future. I know he was having a bit of a hard time getting beaten a lot, but ultimately, that's draft league for you. I am excited to see him in another league if he does join one, but yeah. Either way, take care, Huddled, and welcome to the league, Gekakami. I hope you have a lot of fun joining us. Alright, number 13 is the other team who is going to be dropping out, unfortunately, Titanio. Thanks to a lot of university work and Gaza actually not really feeling like he wanted to continue. This has meant that this team has dropped out now. To my understanding, I'm not 100% sure this is confirmed yet, but a good friend of mine and Huddled, Nitro, is due to be taking over this team. Nitro is relatively new to competitive Pokemon, new to Draft League, so hopefully he'll be fine. Hopefully it is him taking over, but if it's not him, whoever takes over, hopefully we'll have a good fun time joining the league. I love seeing new players come in and join the league, have a bit of fun trying out something new, so fingers crossed. But yeah. Obviously, of course, Titanio has been a very good friend of the league for some time. We know him very well. I played against him last season. Super cool guy. I am going to miss him in the league, of course, but I hope to see him in another league again in the future. But either way, take care, Titanio, and if you are coming in Nitro, welcome to the league, my friend. Alright, coming in at number 12 is going to be Solo, picking up another very good win this week. Solo definitely impressed me a lot. Solo has a lot to offer. He's very aggressive. That aggressive playstyle definitely really helped him out, of course. This week especially, he was allowed to get away with murder. He was allowed to set up that Volcarona for a 6-0 sweep, which is unacceptable for any opponent, to be fair, to allow that. But nonetheless, he was allowed it. His aggression definitely put him ahead. That was a phenomenal sweep. I do think it won't happen again, so that's going to be what we're looking for, of course. We are going to see if that aggression continues. I do know the result of his Week 7 match, but I won't spoil it in this video because, of course, that will come in Week 7's rankings. But either way, good job to Solo. Very nice fix for your differential there, of course. Do still need to keep picking up wins, though, if you want to have a brilliant shot at playoffs. Obviously, having to come from a 0-4 to now be 2-4 with a positive differential is a very good start. So keep it up, buddy. Alright. Coming in at number 11 this week, congratulations, Pelly, you got another win that you didn't even earn. I've been memeing with Pelly a little bit in the Discord quite recently, actually, because I rather jokingly predicted that Pelly would win, but he didn't do anything for her. Now, Pelly, of course, was the beneficiary of Titanio sadly having to drop excuse me, from the league. But nonetheless, a win's a win. Does put him up there in the playoff races for that sword division. So we'll see what happens when Pelly actually plays his game, see if he can actually win on his own terms. I do hope to see that. I do think he has some potential. I like the changes that he's made to his team, so we will see. Hopefully he can start winning on his own terms, although he does joke that he loses every game that he plays, which is amusing to me. Alright, number 10 this week is coming to be someone who disappointed me a lot this week, Sylvie. Sylvie continues to be one-dimensional. We've said this time and time again. We need to see something different or he's going to get punished. This week he got obliterated by Solo, of course. Just allowing way too much. Like, Volcarona always beats Rabombi 1v1 no matter how many times you set up Quiver against each other. So, honestly, to me, this was a poor showing, of course. I don't know what else Sylvie brought. We didn't even get to see it because, of course, they all got annihilated in one shot by Volcarona. Hopefully, Sylvie learns from this and actually starts varying up his strategies. I play him in Week 8, so I'm expecting to see something better. If I don't see it, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. But nonetheless, he's still just about in the playoff races in the Sword Division, mostly due to the fact there's quite a lot of very close results in that division, but that differential is looking pretty dire, so he is going to need to change something about that. Alright, coming in at rank 9 is a bit of a casualty this week, of course, another victim of the Transel effect. EXO, unfortunately, took a rather crushing 4-0 loss this week. Quite sad for him, of course. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for the guy, but admittedly, his matchup wasn't super great. It was definitely not an easy match for him to play. The division, of course, is fiercely competitive, but nonetheless, he's still right in there. He's still right in that playoff race, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if he makes it. But ultimately, right now, in terms of record, there's about 6 players in the Shield division, all fighting for 4 playoff spaces, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for him. But nonetheless, I do think if he can pick up a couple more wins, I think he'll put himself in the hunt. I'm looking forward to seeing what EXO does in his future weeks of matches. Number 8, of course, is my esteemed co-host, who's sadly not here this week. It's going to be Denistrio. Unfortunately, in a battle of the co-hosts at the Power Rankings, he fell short to me. He did get a little bit unlucky with a few misses. He missed a Leech Seed on my Cresselia, and he missed a Seed Flare and a Steam Eruption on my Mudsdale. Ultimately, though, I always say this, you make your own luck, but in terms of actually what those misses did for the match, in actual context, all those misses did on my Mudsdale was just invite my Aerodactyl in. Had he killed my Mudsdale, my Aero just comes in, claims a kill. So ultimately, regardless of those mistakes, the only miss that really mattered was the Leech Seed on Cresselia, which would have allowed Shaman to stall me. Other than that, his misses didn't really matter. He did admit to me privately in Discord DMs that actually I just simply out-prepped him. So ultimately, I won the match in prep as well, and rode my luck a little bit, but unfortunately for him, he did pick up a loss, but he's still not out of the playoff race. He's still a fierce competitor. I would not at all be surprised to see him bounce back. Excuse me. Coming in at number 7 this week is someone who definitely upset the record books. Agoshi picking up a giant upset this week, running over Shadow IX, taking full advantage of that para hacks on the Nihiligo, which was definitely unfortunate. But nonetheless, the Focus Blast crit as well on the Solar Stealer, of course, from Virizion, and a pretty solid mobile endgame. Definitely he warranted a win. Agoshi definitely used his team a lot better this time round. We have sometimes questioned his decisions, but nonetheless, I do think he's a very solid battler, and this match and this win has put him right back in the playoff race. We originally were kind of worrying that he might fall out of it, but he's right back in there. He's terrifying. I have to play him in week 9, and I'm really not looking forward to that match. Even though I have a good matchup against him, it's not going to be super easy for me to go ahead and beat him again. But nonetheless, good to see Agoshi putting up a fight. He is a great player. I do have a lot of respect for him. So fingers crossed we see some more positive results coming from him. Week number 6, of course, is another beneficiary of a big win, is Dizzy. Dizzy definitely deserving of his places up here. He's a very good battler. We've said it before, he struggled to get over the line. This time round, he benefited from Big Nam's mental boom, of course. Definitely helps his differential a lot. But he's a very good mechanical battler, so it's not a surprise to see him up here. Definitely climbing up. That differential boost of +6 is definitely huge, giving him a solid differential, which may end up being the tiebreaker for playoffs in the Sword Division. It's very, very close. There's some very similar records going up against each other, so it's good to see Dizzy in the race, good to see him in the hunt, and I look forward to seeing some of his future matches because he does have a pretty tough schedule in places, but nonetheless, he's good enough and more than capable enough of being able to pick up some wins in his remaining matches of the season. Number 5 this week is a bit of a drop, is of course Shadow. Unfortunate second loss of the season to Agoshi, but nonetheless, he played me this week. I'm not going to spoil the result for it, but it's definitely a good match to watch. If you haven't watched it on my channel, I suggest you do. It was a really good match. Really fun to play, even if the result perhaps wasn't as good as I would have liked. But yeah, doesn't really matter too much to me. Shadow's a god tier battler. He's got a great team. So I do not expect him to see him down this far in the rankings at all. He's definitely fighting for playoffs. He's right up there at the top of the pack for the most part. And he's always there or thereabouts, and he is a real danger. So Shadow is scary. Shadow's always scary. He does have some pretty tough matches to play. He does have to play Demetrio, does have to play Solo, who's in pretty good form. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see what happens with these matches going in the future. It's still a long season ready to go. The Shield Division's so competitive, and I'm very happy to see Shadow in there, of course. So yeah, good luck, of course, to Shadow going forward. Alright. Number 4 this week is another huge climber. This week is Crasher, taking a huge upset this week, being the first person to take out DJ, who was the last remaining undefeated player. Did it in very good fashion as well, of course. Also, that Mirako Avalug play was fantastic, taking out a Tailglow Manaphy. Really cool set. I like the Mirako strats with sturdy Mons in general, of course. Very solid tech moves, of course, and DJ did have a few rough turns, a few misplays, which Crasher punished absolutely perfectly. So, well played, Crasher, of course. Hopefully more of the same, please. I love these tech creative sets that he's bringing. I think it's really fascinating to watch, and it's definitely given him a very solid shout for playoffs. Alright, number 3, his reign at number 1 lasted 1 week, unfortunately, is of course DJ, who did just lose to Crasher. Nonetheless, his reign team, super strong. Obviously, this week he made some rather uncharacteristic passive plays and got punished for it. We were talking a bit in the past, Demetrio and I, about what happens if DJ gets disrupted with his weather, or what happens if he gets put behind. Well, so far, the first time we see that is he took a loss. Bit of a shame, of course, but DJ is more than capable of bouncing back. He's proven to be a very strong battler this season. He is currently the highest ranked Sword Division player, and rightly so in my opinion. He's got very good mastery of Rain. I think he's a very strong player, and I'm definitely not looking forward to playing against him if I have to face him in playoffs. That's going to be a very scary prospect for me. But yeah, very good player. Definitely happy to see him there. Definitely happy that my inner Rain user is screaming at me with joy right now. So can't wait to see more of his matches. I love watching his games. I love watching the way he plays. And I love how Rain works so nice in this particular draft. Alright, coming in at rank number 2 is going to be your handsome host right here. Normally I asked Denisio to do this bit, but it's fairly easy this week, really. I'm not, of course, going to be too biased about it, but yeah, I got a very good prep team. My matchup against Denisio was fairly okay. I felt pretty comfortable in the matchup. I liked some of the sets that I brought. I think the way I played that match in general was pretty good. I did make a few misplays that I wasn't too happy about. I did ride my luck a little bit with Mudsdale, but I liked the raw tech that I brought for Mudsdale this week. I liked the fact that I could phase out some of his key threats. The red card Registeel, which was originally there for Komato, actually made Volcanion a little bit weaker. So ultimately, some of the prep that I brought, Denisio just struggled to handle, and I played it relatively calm and calculated and was able to win the game. Of course, luck does play a part, but that's Pokemon, right? Alright, so coming in at rank number 1, we thought we got him off the top spot, but he's back. Transil back at rank number 1, of course. Very solid win this week, 4-0 win over Exo. And what's more scary about this, he's got a pretty simple schedule next week. He's having to play against some of the lesser players in the league. Although Huddle did just get replaced with Gecko Kami, which may make this match a little bit more difficult. We will see, but he does still have to play Krimpix again. He plays me in week 10, that's going to be a very fun match. But yeah, looking at it, he does have a harder couple of weeks at the back end of the season, having to play Shadow and having to play Denisio again. So I think he'll be at the top spot for a little while. I might be surprised and upset, of course. DJ might smash a game and Transil might lose. You never quite know. But Transil's back at number 1 again, which, you know, we're all happy to see him really there. We all, obviously all meme on him, say please nerf Transil, of course. But yeah, it's quite fun nonetheless. But yeah, so that's going to be it for Power Rankings this week. I do apologise again, of course, for it being late. And obviously I hope Denisio will be back for next time. But yeah, I'm getting out of here. My name is Rabombi Teacher. I'm your coach of the Royal Bomber for Bombis. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.